What's going on, guys? An optimistic and hopeful Gomer here. Back again for a MLB The Show 22 video. I can't believe I'm saying this because we know some stuff. You know, the MLB season might still be locked out, but MLB The Show is not. I'll admit, wanted to get this video out yesterday, but I was being about as productive as Robert Manfred in a collective bargaining agreement argument. I was sidetracked. I was watching 2011 World Series highlights. Kept me some slack. But we do have some new features. 7 of them, in fact. 7, maybe Joe Mauer's coming to the game this year. Who knows? That we're going to be talking about today for MLB The Show 22. And, yeah, we're going to get more news coming soon as far as the live stream schedule. The game, early access on April 1st. No April Fools there, not too far away. I'm looking forward to it. Again, subscribe to this channel if you guys want a great place for news, tips, gameplays, a lot of stuff. Going big this year. Gargantuan, big as me. 5'11", 6 foot on Tinder. Let's get into it. First new feature, this is going to pertain to Diamond Dynasty. Very important. You notice right here the pack description. I'll admit I did not see this when making my video yesterday. Lord knows what May's doing right there. She was just tumbling around in play so well. A cute dog for sure. But the cover athlete diamond choice pack features a choice between prior cover athletes, which is very interesting, you know, because we have a plethora of ones still in the game, such as Shohei Ohtani, which no doubt is going to get a card early on in the year. One could hope they also figured out how to properly introduce two-way players into the game, so that's going to be really fucking cool. I'll use one of my F-bombs right there. 2 if I get real riled up. But then you also have guys like Joe Mauer, who we talked about, Ryan Howard, David Wright, guys that were on the cover, but they do not have the rights to since they've retired, no longer in the MLB PA, and that's where you get the conversation. Cougs tweeted about it right here. Really hope this means they got the rights to Mauer, Howard, Wright, etc. to go all out with this pack, which, to be honest with you, I very much could see this not being the case. I could easily see them having Ohtani, Griffey, maybe Tatis, David Ortiz, and I don't know, one more for good measure, maybe Judge. I could certainly see that being the case, but I hope it is not. We also do, I did not see this, but Ainge Nation coming up big, just with some sketches here, some cards. He is David Ortiz, all the cover athletes here. Make sure and give him a follow. We've talked about that plenty of times by now. A lot of guys that would be quite cool. David Wright. Of course, these cards are going to be, you know, top out at 88. That's probably sugarcoating it as well. But then we have K-Pritz on Twitter here. Just goes and shows off all the cover athletes. So the ones that they do not have the rights to currently: David Wright, Ryan Howard, Dustin Pedroia, Joe Mauer, Adrian Gonzalez. Most of them, at least at the earlier stages. Then Yasiel Puig as well. They do not have the rights to, as I think he was playing in Mexico last year. But everybody else is fair game for that matter. So let me know in the comments section what you guys think. Do you think we're gonna get somebody like Ryan Howard, Joe Mauer into the game? And out of these possible players, who would you pick given that choice? So that is one very big addition, one very big feature that they have been introduced into MLB 22. Another one that I want to talk about, we mentioned it a little bit, but Diamond Dynasty is back and better than ever. I'll judge that when I see it on April 1st, damn it. Play, collect, yeah, yada yada. Try the new mini seasons mode. That's what we're talking about here, where each season brings new challenges as you face off against a new set of competition. So those words are quite interesting, quite intriguing, I might even say. And it's gotten to the point on Twitter where a lot of people have almost thought we're going to get Weekend League for sure. Weekend League, of course, we've mentioned it plenty of times, but perhaps you missed those videos, so we'll talk about it again. It's on Madden, FIFA, the EA loot box game modes within their sports games. So where each weekend you'll have to qualify and you'll have X amount of games. I know in Madden it's 25, and you win games, and the more you win, the better rewards you get. And they're actually quite rewarding. And it's truly a step up. You know, ranked seasons, unless you're in that top echelon, like if you're not quite there, not a regular at World Series, don't have real estate at the 900 plus mark, you're probably gonna notice sometimes it can be quite annoying. You'll have guys that'll quit out after getting a single Good lord, do you really think you can't come back? Is it insurmountable that I got on first base right there? You know, if you quit after you get to first base, how the hell are you ever gonna get to third? You know, dual sense joke, friend zoned and low rating and ranked. I don't think it is weekend league, actually. The more I thought about it, I think it's going to be essentially ranked seasons against the computer, just again by what they're saying right there. Nothing really leads you to believe weekend league, because the words face off against a new set of competition, I mean, yeah, how does that spell weekend league? What I'm thinking this is ranked against the computer, essentially, because that's something people have been asking for. They want something to grind against the computer, because there's Showdown, but once you do so many of those, there's not really a point anymore, and a lot of people aren't a big fan of Showdown. There's Conquest. Nobody likes Conquest. I mean, hell, I'm gonna get the Switch version, I guess, and play it while I'm on the toilet. That's how I feel about Conquest. That's its place, being sitting on the canned fodder. So that's a lost cause. This would be something that people have been asking for, and if they have good rewards alongside with it, that's great. Obviously, you're not going to have a Mike Trout 99 reward at the end of this, but with, again, what they're saying, a new set of competition, it sounds like that is the case. You'll face off against maybe like a team of the month for that ranked seasons, and you'll work at the ranks and play them on higher difficulties. Maybe there's different teams that you play. I just can't really foresee this necessarily being weekend league based off the words that they write here. It just doesn't really sound like it. A new set of competition. That's the same thing as ranked seasons then. There's nothing to differentiate it. So, in one Gomer's opinion, that is what we're getting right there. Created Stadium night games is another big one, of course. As you guys are well aware, if you have not had a chance to play the Stadium Creator this year on next-gen consoles exclusive, as it will return next year, you can't do night games. The reason for that is, I don't know. I guess they just didn't have enough time. They didn't really say. I assumed it was because you have to actually install the lights. You could have some real weird combinations. As you can see here, you can kind of do it, or at least you can make shadows yourself. Just put some of the big terrains way up above the stadium, and it's going to give you kind of that feel. Or you could have it be pitch black. We've seen, I think, your friend Kyle's stadium was kind of like that. You can, go around the system a bit, but night games are going to look actually professional, which is good. That's a nice thing to have. I prefer playing at night personally, because you'll have issues with the sunlight sometimes, and it's just a good balance, I think. I think it's a good option to have, and it makes sense. So that is coming through. Night games in custom stadiums. 2 new difficulty settings. That's something that they mentioned in the storefront on the details of the game. 2 new difficulty settings to help you get the hang of the basics. Not really sure what this is. Last year they implemented the 3 different gameplay styles. I'm looking at them right now. Competitive, there is casual and simulation. And competitive is what you'll do for online, where your input matters most, simulation, attributes matter most, and casual, shit just flies out of the walls. But I don't really know what they're getting at here. If you need to get a hang of the basics, couldn't you just put it on casual and beginner game mode? I'm not sure how there's any more help as far as that's concerned, but maybe it's something different. Maybe it's something that's going to be implemented within online Diamond Dynasty. We're going to have to wait and see, but I'm not exactly too sure what they could even mean by that, because, yeah, 2 new difficulty settings. So, beginner through legend, I guess they're going to go even easier. The beginner, newborn difficulty setting, who knows? But that is a new feature that we're discussing here, because they say it is. The next one we're going to talk about is something all the 5 people are going to be pumping fist in the air for. March to October, new customization. That is a very big feature, no doubt. Has been on everybody's wish list for years, ever since the inaugural year that we've had March to October. Everybody's been saying, what would be great? Put the features that we already have in the game, just in MTO. That's what they're doing this year. You can now create uniforms and logos and created stadiums into March to October. So if you play that game mode, I'm sure you're happy. Again, I sound negative here because we'll mention that in a little. Actually, we'll curtail it into now. They don't mention anything about franchise, by the way. They mention something about every other game mode. Except, well, I guess they didn't mention retro mode new features, but nothing regarding franchise. So we'll talk about that a little bit later, but it's just causing me to be pessimistic towards offline game modes when you say there's new stuff to MTO, but nothing to franchise. Okay, I get it, SDS. I see where your allegiances lie. New intro presentations. This one I'm actually quite excited for. I do play offline quite a bit, actually. And that's kind of been stagnant for some years. If you guys saw my gameplay for MLB The Show 11 on the PS3, presentation really hasn't changed. Obviously, the visuals have gotten improved since, a decade ago. Lord knows I should hope that would happen. But otherwise, the intro looks essentially the same. They have like 2-3 different presentation options, one with MLB Network, but hopefully they have something interesting to show off here to make it more lifelike. That's something people have been looking for and would definitely improve any shortcomings with franchise features, at least in my opinion. I'm somebody who rather plays the games and does the franchise stuff instead of just like doing a rebuild sort of thing. That's kind of what I enjoy. And then the last one I want to talk about here is multiple ball players. Yeah, we'll go over here to talk about it because there's quite a bit of information right here. So create and use multiple ball players beyond your Road to the Show personalized ball player RNG made that joke once, Gomer. Was funny the first time. RPG experience. And customize your ball players how you want to aid in your progression. So, not sure. We had a ball player last year, and we can make multiple this year. As you see with my recordings, not really too sure how it's going to be all that different. You can customize your ball player quite a bit to a good extent at this point. I don't really know why you need a second ball player, but that is an option for you if you want to do that, I suppose. I don't see a park-style game mode coming. I feel that would be such a big thing. They would mention new co-op experiences, something like that. So I wouldn't get your hopes up as far as that's concerned. I think it's going to stay relatively in the same space that it is. It has ties to Diamond Dynasty, but really nothing more. I wouldn't expect a new game mode with that. And then to end it off here, a couple things that you do need to know. One, again, there's zero mentions of franchise whatsoever. Again, we don't have the franchise live stream schedule at all. We don't have any of the live stream schedules to this point, but nothing regarding franchise. So keep that in mind if you're not into Diamond Dynasty for sure. No year-to-year saves. I'm very surprised about this. I thought this was going to be implemented, but it is not. So if you're thinking of starting a season right now and carrying it over at MLB 22, you can't do that. So that is still not there. Custom stadiums do not transfer. It makes sense, but I'm disappointed. I just recently made a custom stadium that took me, I don't know, like an hour and a half to do with the thought that it is going to transfer over, so it sucks. I'm sure there's new features, and there has been some stadiums specifically by Aqua X, like his prison stadium, if you guys have seen it. That's probably why they don't transfer over, but oh well, that's not going to be a feature, so don't plan on it. Also, one more thing. A lot of people, or specifically Kreiner, I know on Twitter, said he didn't want to see anime style because, that's the special edition cover of Shohei Ohtani. As you can see right here, they say this does not represent in-game, essentially. So if you really have a hatred towards anime, I guess, it's not going to be shoved down your throat. It doesn't look like it, so if you were considering not buying it based off that aspect, wouldn't worry about it. I think you're going to be safe from that art style. At least what this is saying. Maybe you can file a lawsuit if we find out otherwise. But I think that's pretty much all I want to talk about here. Again, 7 pretty big features. There's probably 3 to 4 big wallopers and 3, yeah. It's mentioned there, so it counts. Leave a like if you guys enjoy. As always, comment down below what you guys think, if you're excited for MLB The Show 22. And yeah, hope you guys have a great day. There goes out. Yeet.